Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Mound. I don't think today is going to show much of a long mission. I really just need to get this portal one done.
The filthy spawn of the jungle is threatening one of the forts. Do what must be done. Make me proud.
St. Jerome's Fall. We got it drop off. We got to take the incense burner thing to the portal where the tentacle is. Plop it in there. We have to try and avoid waking the forest in the process. These missions I don't like much at all. For anybody who's never seen this before, the purple stuff kind of starts to drive you crazy and it'll eventually kill you if you stand on it for too long. Very much like the shadow bats. Not sure why the NPC is just standing on it. I'm not sure if it affects him at all actually, but that's interesting. Anyway, no treasure to collect, you just grab the incense. Or the sensor as it's worded. Take it to the portal. Toss it in and run out of there before the forest wakes up. Said the forest can wake up prior to that and pretty much cut you off. It all depends on how much noise is made. So you have to be very careful with birds on this map, as well as the bird-like zombies that screech as loud as they can once they see you. I think it takes 4 or 5 of those screeches to pretty much just end the run and wake up the forest, so you very much want to be careful. Because the moment the forest wakes up, this purple stuff will start emanating from the center of the portal itself, where the tentacle sticks out, which is generally at the fort logbook area. And if you're not there, you're not able to throw the sensor into that portal before its radius grows too much, or pretty much screwed. So you definitely just want to be careful with the noise generation on this map, because I'm not really sure if there's like a way to measure the noise buildup, but it doesn't take too much for the entity to wake up, and if it does, you're screwed. And so in this case, I don't even want to shoot the bird. Wondering if I can get myself around it completely for the sake of not having it scream when it dies or obscuring my vision. That log came around the side of the waterfall. Are you kidding me? The NPC sets him off, of course. So I'm just going to run. I mean, the fort is right up here anyways, so it isn't going to be too big of an issue. Just really hoping to avoid that bird screaming, because you get very limited loud noises before it pretty much ends the mission and forces you to leave or essentially die. So I'm not even going to bother dropping that bridge. I don't know what else is happening in terms of the noise the NPC generates or causes. Here you can already see the tentacle at the fort. Don't care about zombies, I can't really fight them while I'm holding this best I can possibly manage. So, right over. The incense makes that sound. Now I am leaving. It says creature has been defeated, return to the rowboats. Just so you are aware, defeating the creature doesn't change the fact that that entity can still wake up and son of a bitch and pretty much start eating up the map. So there's also these deers. They have explosive centipede postural things on them. So you heard the sound there. I cured that centipede problem. Those guys, they will be kind of layered out throughout the map. They charge at you, they blow up, You can kill them from afar if you have a weapon, or try to kind of hide them or move them into a position where they can't get at you when they explode. Sometimes you can't even tell before they get right in your face, especially because, as you saw prior to that, there were a bunch of normal-looking sheep, or I'm trying to think to myself, a lot of normal-looking deer. I'm gonna go ahead, run myself all the way back to base, and cue the end. The tricky thing is that even after you throw that stuff into the portal and you complete the mission, as you're leaving, if you've got to do like this large loop around the map, son of a bitch. If you've got a large loop around the map, and nice, so I was infected, and that helped me out. If you got to do this large loop around the map, if that entity wakes up, it spreads in a radius from where that tentacle is. So while you're circling the map, it's spreading straight out towards all edges, meaning there are instances where you can get cut off from getting to the boat. Son of a bitch. Just because the entity and that radius of purple stuff, it's not linear to the paths. It's literally a radius that just grows every moment or so. So you definitely have to be careful even after tossing the gunk into the tentacle, the sensor,
Are you ready to return?
to complete the contract, just because you can still very much get screwed out of completing and getting your money and XP just by the way that it spreads out at the end.
Let's see if you fulfilled your end of the agreement. The forts must be held to allow us to complete our mission in this hostile land. Extra tokens for these fine souls. Excellent work.
This is curious. Stay together. Tell someone if you believe you're hallucinating. Do not sound the horn, whistle, or fire a weapon unless it's necessary. If you're running out of time, find your way back. Even if you don't generate sound, there's a good chance that you're just going to get mobbed by a bunch of zombies. I do like the fact that they do provide those tips for survival. I hear that you can actually pet Carlito now. That's something I'll have to try out on the next one. Definitely given a lot of thought to trying to run through as many of these solo as I can while hitting the double reward mark. I'm not sure how that's going to work out though, just because some of these missions you do get blood moon events where like half a dozen zombies generate and run exactly towards you, and they all attack at the same time. It's not like a linear kind of combat system where you get one or two enemies at a time. Everybody will tentacle you and attack you at the same time, and while you're stuck trying to break tentacles on one zombie, two others can be beating you to death, and it's not really something you could kind of skill your way out of. It's either you are in a position to not get totally murdered, or you are. I've considered maybe doing something like that, but we'll see. I think we'll definitely have to use the jars of Icar for that. Either way, thank you all for watching. I hope you learned something. Leave a comment, like, etc. And I will see you on the next one.